DC Fandome kicks off today. It's kind of weirdly timed showcase of upcoming DC content, considering the brand was recently devastated by layoffs, specifically its comic division, DC Universe streaming and collectibles. But games, shows and movies march on, and today there are a ton of virtual events today that will reveal more information about a host of DC projects. There's almost too much to process, so I have slimmed it down to what I would consider a schedule of the biggest announcements, the first of which are going to go live in a few hours here. I believe the stream will be shown here, among other places, so head there around 1 p.m. Eastern Time when this all kicks off. And it kicks off with the project we've probably seen the most from, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, Wonder Woman 1984. This movie has been delayed a whole lot of times, some pre-pandemic, some after, and now it's supposed to be out October 2nd. More footage to see from this panel, I'd assume. 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Warner Bros. Games Montreal Announcement. This is the Court of Owls Batman game that has been teased by this studio, the one responsible for Arkham Orgins, not the base Arkham trilogy. Don't confuse them with Rocksteady, which has its own game debut later in the schedule, 2:55 p.m. Eastern Time, The Suicide Squad. This is the James Gunn Suicide Squad movie, not to be confused with the first Suicide Squad movie everyone hated or the Suicide Squad game being announced later in the day. Yes, not hard to follow at all. We have heard the cast list for this, but know almost nothing about it, so this should be good. 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time, The Snyder Cut. The fan dream turned into an HBO Max marketing opportunity will indeed have its own panel, and we'll likely get to see a good amount of footage that Snyder has re-added for his own version of the film. Still no word on if we're getting a super long movie or if they're breaking it up into a miniseries, but we may find that out today. 6:10 p.m. Eastern Time, Black Adam. This is the movie where The Rock is playing Black Adam, which we've seen nothing from to date. I assume he'll be there for it, as he kind of has to be. Still not super sure on how this fits into the DCEU in general, but we'll see. 7:05 p.m. Eastern Time, Aquaman. I think this is about Aquaman too, but I'm not entirely sure, and that still seems like a long way off, so maybe this is about the comic instead. Need to figure that out, but we'll watch just in case. 8:10 p.m. ET Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. Okay, now this is the Arkham developers' next project, which we've seen teased a little bit, but looks to be a game where the heroes are the villains, and it should be amazing, considering their past offerings. Cannot wait for this one. 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Day One is closing with The Batman, the new movie seemingly disconnected from the DCEU starring Robert Pattinson, and no doubt we will get our first official trailer for it here. Curious to see what this looks like. Those are the major reveals planned.